we're recording.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah, okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm calling the Housing Authority Board meeting of, June 23rd, 2025 to order. We're gonna begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, go ahead. We'll begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kathleen Belastros.
President.
Kevin Hildy is absent. Francine Goodwin,
Present.
Maria Orozco.
Present.
Yuri Anderson.
Here.
And that concludes the roll call votes.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to number 3, comments from the public. Is there anybody present? Nobody, Galiana?
No one in person. Anybody online?
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to number 4. And we are gonna go to the approval of minutes for the regular board meeting held on April 28, 2025, and then also the regular board meeting held on May 27, 2025. Is that it?
Mine just got May 27, 2025.
Yeah, it's May 27th. I need to update this.
Okay, so it's not April, it's just May?
Correct now.
Okay. I'm gonna correct myself. It's only for the board meeting held on May 27th, 2025. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a motion? Sorry.
That's okay.
Move for approval.
And a second?
A second.
Approval for Commissioner Orozco and second by Commissioner Anderson. Sorry, Yuri.
That's okay.
Roll call.
Okay, Kathleen Belastros,
Yes.
Francine Goodwin,
Yes.
Maria Orozco.
Yes.
And Yuri Anderson.
Yes.
That concludes the roll call.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to reporter committees, number 5. First one is board reports ad hoc committee.
We did not have a meeting this month.
Okay, thank you, your Commissioner Anderson. And we we are gonna go now, policy ad hoc committee. Myself, including Commissioner Goodwin, we did meet and we, it's actually in the agenda and we're continuing to review the policies. And as stated in the agenda, it will be submitted for review in the future month or so. Okay. And now we are gonna go to number 6, report of the secretaries.
Okay, so, the main thing that we really need to talk about is the San Francisco HUD field office. We are going to EVMS, so all of the money for HCV will come directly from PIC submissions. We won't have to turn in a report anymore. So we working with them to clean up all our PIC errors. We have 125. The reason that it's taking us so long to clear them up is because a lot of them have to do with immigration and social security numbers. And so the housing authority have access to one half of that system, and then we have to get HUD to do the other half. We just provide all the documentation. So we waiting on that, and then we'll be in compliance. We have a corrective action plan from the compliance review. And so every month I have a call with them to let them know that we met the goals. It was 4 findings, I think, all of them was in section 8. And it was basically about the files and the tenant overpayments and things of that nature. And so we are on track. And at the next meeting, since we should be halfway done, I'll make sure to put a note to have the compliance corrective action plan on the agenda. And so you can see how far we come and what we got left to do. And it kind of mirrors what we already have going on in section 8. Other things, we just kind of in the process right now. The only thing I really like to highlight, one, and he's gonna get more into it, but we acquired King City for the Home Key project. So he'll talk more about that in development. But under property management, HDC owns several properties and they had a contract with John Stewart to provide the property management. They've had this contract in place since the inception of the properties. We recently terminated those contracts and it was for Benito FLC, Benito Affordable, Town and Village, Monterey Affordable, and Fano Vista, so that we can perform our own property management. That's gonna save HDC about $772,000. And then Helcom will still get the fees that they were getting, which was around 382, I believe, but I'll get the exact numbers. So the housing authority will still get the money that it's supposed to get from the original deals, and we'll save all the money that we were spending on the management agreements. And so that's very important. And we have Town and Village is coming up for an extension on the project-based vouchers contract. So I had that contract for the next meeting, so you can look at it, but it's just really a formality to extend it, because we have 40 years you can have it in all. And they've only had it, I think, 20 years, maybe 15. And so it's a housing authority property. It'll make sense for us to go ahead and extend it and keep the PBBs at the complex. Plus, we don't want to displace the people that currently live in those units. We have a resident service coordinator resolution on here, but I'm asking the board's permission to table that until the next meeting so that we can make some clerical adjustments on the resolution to make sure that it's fully transparent and to show that we're following all the compliance issues. And other than that, let's see. I'll talk about that later. With Keith exiting to Hot Kansas City, we have a new director of development, Nora, and what's Nora's last name? Okay, that person is taking over as the director of development. She's been with the agency a long time. She's very knowledgeable, and she was already applied before and was one of the high ranking candidates for the position. And she's a current employee. And then for Section 8, we have a new interim director who's also an existing employee who has worked outside of the Section 8 department and has been here for 15 years or so, doing compliance, doing reasonable accommodations, working on the admin book. So she's been working on things that heavily affect that department without being in the department, and does a lot of compliance oversight. So she's gonna try her hat as the interim director of the department. And that's it for my report. The rest of the stuff is just kind of little updates here and there.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On taking over those services that the Stewart used to provide, are we hiring additional staff?
That's in the HDC report,
Okay,
Ms.
got
Maria.
it.
I ain't trying to put you off, but that's
Okay.
part of that reports.
Okay, you have a question?
Yes, I have two questions. So,
Mhm.
as it relates to John Stewart Company, I know that we've generally been looking to shift to doing our own property management. How many more properties do we have under contract with them?
I think that's it.
I think that closes that out.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay, and then as it relates to the interim director position, are you initiating a search while you have the interim
Mhm.
director? And so,
Yes, ma'am. So that way, hopefully it will work out, but in case that it doesn't, we'll still actively be looking for people that can assume that position.
And I think it was noted in the HR report, right? That,
I believe so.
I thought I
Yeah.
seen it, that it was noted.
is that,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, so Commissioner Goodwin, do you have a question for Zanika?
No,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move to number 7, and I believe that we're gonna table this item. I need a motion.
Move to, do you want to table it or move to table item 7A?
Second.
Okay. So I have a motion to table by Commissioner Anderson and seconded by Commissioner Orozco. So we'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Okay, Kathleen Bellastros.
Before we do the roll call, Commissioner Goodwin, do you have any questions in regards to tabling this item?
no,
Okay, thank you.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Kathleen Bellastros.
Yes.
Francine Goodwin,
Yes,
Maria Orozco.
Yes.
And Yuri Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes the roll call.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to The information starting with number 8, information. Does anybody have any questions on, any of the items listed from A to F
I had some
or comments
a question on the finance report.
on the finance? Okay, go ahead.
So.
I'm gonna get this whole little speech when we get my
Oh,
speech.
yeah,
first.
give a speech, go ahead.
Okay,
So for the finance report, we really was concentrating on the budget, and the budget does start July the 1st.
yes.
So we are late, I am late submitting the budget to the board, but it's on purpose, not to be this late, but to be late. The agency transitioned away from public housing, I think it was 2016 or 19, but they never transitioned away from the model. So from, what was the model, 16 or 19?
2016.
So from 2016 up until last year, the budget has resembled what HUD required for a public housing agency with capital funds, operating subsidies, things like that, using a COC. And so with all the audits behind, I didn't want to transition it until we got them caught up. So now that we caught up with the audits, we're actually doing the budget as it would be for us with the RAD portfolio, so that it's asset-based, site-based, more of like each one of them being their own type of business and not dependent on those funds. So it was a complete overhaul of the budget, so I knew it'd be, take a little longer. That's why I wanted to put it on here. I do not want anybody, it's not a resolution. I want you to look at it, dissect it, see what you think. And then let's have maybe a special meeting in July just to talk about the budget. So that we can review the items, or if the board wishes, we can do it at the next board meeting. But since it looks a little different and its priorities are slightly different than previous, I want to give you time to really look at it. We are not under public housing, so even though the budget would go in late, maybe about 30 days, we won't get in trouble or get any reprimands, anything from HUD for that. Had we been still in public housing, we would, but since we're not, it's really up to us. But moving forward after this will be the format, and we'll have the budget ready every March, so that we can present it in the March meeting, and then for the April meeting, actually talk about it and have it ready for July 1. But it just took a lot of digging, because it's been so much transition too, so everybody who worked in finance, changed it a little bit, did a little bit. So it was really taking all that, dissecting it, and then putting it back together as it should be for the way we want to operate moving forward.
Any questions, commissioners?
No.
New commission?
Yeah, I still have
Go ahead,
questions.
go ahead.
So I think special meeting or some sort of like study session would be really helpful, because when I look at the budget, my understanding is that it's pages 42, 3, 4, 5 of the packet. And it's maybe because it's so different when it just seems disjointed and I don't really understand like how it's being outlined, and then wanting to make sure there's a clear nexus between how the budget are articulated and the goals that we're looking to achieve. And that is really clear and transparent to both us as commissioners and any member of the public who might be looking at our budget. So that's kind of one comment. And then I was just looking at the various financial statements that are in there. And I'm like, okay, like I really need to have some time to sit down and understand this. There's one that, overall it talks about us having, it's from April, we have a negative net income. I'm assuming that's due to timings, but in general, it's saying that we have a positive cash balance. And then there's a report where everything in the cash balances, everything is reported with the month and the number 24. So I don't know if that's calendar year 24 or if it closes on the 24th of the month. So there's just a lot of, looking at all of it, I was just like, I need a lot more.
I think it'd be a special
explanation.
meeting, so that we can dissect it and talk about it.
HACOM year end is June 30.
Mhm.
So starting July to the following year, June.
Mhm.
And the individual property, the LP, the property, they are calendar year, January to December.
Mhm.
So I have one page show the high level income, expense, and net income or loss.
Mhm.
That one, at somewhere that on the top, I say the fiscal year, July to June, and the calendar year and the January to, you will see that is I didn't add them together because it doesn't make sense. I added two different fiscal year. So that is, we separate, we have all the revenue minus all the expense, and then we have one. And then we separated the depreciation. Depreciation is a non-cash expense. Because it's accrued basis when we prepare the income statement, that's including depreciation as expense, but it's a non-cash. Most of our transactions, cash related, we including giving the true BUTC before depreciation, what is this, the net, or after. Because even this is non-cash related, but it's cash spending already. So just need to in the formula, in the future, in the year, we benefit from those investment, we need to capture those costs. So we need to think of the two way. The best way is revenue minus all the expense, you get the net. The net if it's income, it's good. And but we'll also think about it. So our investment, our nature is so different. So let's just separate. If you think about the depreciation, what it looks like. If you take out the depreciation, what it looks like. So think about we're including the depreciation. Only one property final is the profit. All others is a net loss. If we take out the depreciation, mostly it's probably 60%, 7%. It's a positive. It's a net income or net income positive. Others is a loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually really helpful.
Well, you can ask for more.
I think it'd be good if we just have a special meeting just about the budget. So that everybody can really get a very transparent view into what goes into the budget. And like you said, we got one calendar year in for the investments, then the housing authority on the fiscal year, then HDC on another year, and all that tied together. So if we can do a meeting on it in July, that'd be great.
Has there ever been, I ask you this knowing that you've been here super longer than I have, a conversation about bringing the fiscal years into alignment to make our financial
There's certain
reporting?
reasons why you
we
can't do that. And then that was something they really should have looked at when they started a lot of these developments. So, but we can explain that too when we get into the meeting. That way we can kind of separate them and you can see, because it's most of the developments they did on HDC, where they had the partners and stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to ask any question, then when I prepare those, the presentation, I can edit those too.
No.
Thanks, Jen.
But no, I'm think this great, because I think that the budget is very important, and what has been presented in the past was not really the whole story. And so we really need to get down into that, so you'll know, what we really spending the money on, what's really taking place. Because as a policy committee, it's important that you know what you're approving for finances, because a lot of the actions we take are based on your approval of the budget. So that's why we want to try to change it and make it easier to understand and really go into like a lot of explanation onto why this costs this or why this much is over here.
Okay. Do you have any questions on any of those items? Commissioner Goodwin? Do you have?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say one thing on under the human resource report. I wanted to commend the maintenance team on the renovation of the housing choice voucher department. They worked so hard, and then I got to come and when they opened it up, they had the opening and very nice to see them. They were excited. Everybody was excited, but especially the workers that were gonna be working in that in the renovated area. So I just wanted to commend them.
And if I could add to that, I know they look so happy on the picture. I did address that. And I told them, I go, next time smile. So they were excited to be on there. So just recognize them. And not all of them were captured. So I put on the bottom.
Yes, I did see that.
Just
Thank
to
you.
recognize them as well. So.
Sorry, Vice Chair, I had a couple more on the information reports.
Yes, go ahead.
One, I just wanted to offer a thank you on the property manager reports. I think this is the first month that we've had the completely revised report. It was so
Yes,
clear,
yes.
so easy to understand what our goals were and how we are meeting them or not meeting them. So thank you very much. And because it was so clear, I had questions like, okay, on our wait list goal, are we trying to bring them into a line, or are we okay with the goal? It's 977% of what it is that we actually want on the wait list. And then how are data like that being used to inform regional housing development need conversations? So if we know we have 977% of our goal of people wanting to live in Gonzales, and like, what is that property type? And how are we going out and saying, hey, this is what we need, because this is what people are asking for, so it's that actual developments are happening both by us or by others, we can do that advocacy. And then with the work orders, saw a lot of both like regular work orders and a few emergency, particularly on the King City RAD, which for me, I was like, okay, how is it that we have a property that's essentially been offline for 6 or 7 months? And now people are coming in and they're putting in just routine work orders. Like, what is our plan to make sure that property is like plug in the King City RAD?
Is it under King City Migrant?
Oh, King City Migrant.
Migrant, yeah.
Okay, we said rail.
All right, okay, that's what, but it was like, so I was like, if that was offline, like, how do we make it so that when those people move in, they're not having to do like, or is it just like, oh, the light bulbs were out, we're changing light bulbs kind of thing? Like,
Well, on the waiting list, a lot of that data is old, so we can purge those lists and get new lists. So probably in September, somewhere now, you'll see what really the need is in the area, so that we can get new candidates on there. Cause those go back to 2017, 18. Some of them just been open forever. So we're gonna take care of that. Now, on King City Migrant, I don't know, Keith, if you wanna talk about that, or Myra, or those routine work orders, or did we miss something when we was getting ready to open it?
It was in routine.
Yeah, so the majority of them were in routine work orders. What tends to happen is, we do the inspections, the move-in inspections with the families. And then once they start, getting settled, they start maybe running the water, and maybe some of them have to do with, adjusting the temperature on the water heater. I know we just had some electricity issues over there. When the property is not used, somebody's breakers went out, stuff like that. So just kind of things as we start, using them and the units get occupied, they just start noticing things that, we wouldn't otherwise when they're not occupied.
It's like my car hasn't been turned on for a while. I'm on vacation and now I gotta get my battery jumped.
Something like that.
Okay.
So I believe that's like a normal thing that would take place because the migrant center was closed and now the people came in. So
Right.
that's like a usual.
Right, those units were offline for several months, and we do have one out there who's there throughout the whole year, but families move in and they just notice things that, we wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't occupied.
And we do need to go back and revisit that property, because they have some in the works. I don't know if they got finalized yet. Well, maybe the people can stay there all year long. So that it don't have to be offline, but we'll have more information on that in the next month or two.
And
That would be great.
would USDA have to approve it also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And they would continue to fund the property. It would
Okay.
just be online the entirety of the year.
So, congratulations, you've got great reports, which makes me have more questions.
Okay, so any more questions? Yuri?
That was it, that was on my whole list.
Okay, I got one comment. I forgot. I just had to tell y'all. But the Section 8 department, last month, we did 903 annual exams. So if you see how that's jumped from 130 in January all the way to 903 in May to try to get caught up. And the lates, we went from 268 to 22. So we are finally pretty much, it's just a little complete with those adjustment slips that I was telling you about before. And actually they're being ahead. So most of them are in the month of September now, which they should be in September or October. So we just got to keep that momentum going. And then I have a separate report later when we had a final total of the adjustment slips and how that's working out. But we are almost to that point, and I wanted to just say the team worked really hard and they did 903 certifications in 1 month.
Okay, any other questions? No.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's more like it's kind of a question statement. I wanted to make Zika aware that in my building, there's a lot of people here that are not able to go online and do their recertifications. And I mean, I try and help some people, but they, you know, sometimes they don't have all the information or, you know, whatever. And so we have to, you know, take it to a halt and, you know, and so what I've been having people do is just contact their worker and ask for a hard copy of the application. Am I doing the right, I mean, is that
We
okay?
have a person dedicated, Miss Francine, to helping people get online and get registered and go through the process. So if they having problems with the portal, they need to say that and they'll be directed to one of two people who will go step for step with them to show them how to get on there, how to work it, and what's required. And if they still having problems after that, we can send them a packet. But we do try to promote for them to use the portal first.
Right, and I do too, I mean, I try and, I mean, some people have no clue how to use a computer. Whatsoever. There's a lot of that going on in here. It's a different generation.
Well, we do plan on trying to have somebody come out too, again, to go through that at the site. Because you can use your phone, that's the one thing I do really like about it, you don't have to have a computer or a tablet, just use your phone and do it.
Yeah.
We had somebody who went out before and signed a lot of people up, but you know, unfortunately, some people were missed, so we have been talking about doing that again. To try to help everybody get online and just get over the general nervousness of doing it.
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot of interesting people in here, and there some of them either don't know how to use the electronics, or they're very private and they don't even have an email address. And nor do they want to get one. That kind of thing. So I know you guys are, you know, are doing your best to try and get the system, you know, acclimated for everybody, but I just wanted to make you aware that that's going on a lot in here. I don't know how it is.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, Commissioner Goodwin, can you note the property when you refer to where you live at?
Oh, Casanova Plaza, I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I assumed, that's what I get for assuming.
It's okay.
But no, and we have a lot of there's a lot of seniors in here
Okay.
that don't, you know, that don't know or understand, you know, computers, and I'm one of the few that do, and I'm not that good at it myself, but anyway, but I, you know, before I moved in here, I made sure I took classes at the college, so that I, you know, when it came time for me to be employed, I could do that with a little bit more ease. But anyway, it's scary to them, and I wish it wasn't, because it's not a scary thing if, you know, you do it correctly. And you know, I try and you know, promote that to them, but anyway, I just wanted to make you all aware that there's a kind of a roadblock, mental roadblock with them as far as the recertification. They panic, and so anyway, but it might be a good idea to you know, light the fire again, and have somebody come in and, you know, get the spark going. They're going to complain either way. So,
Well, yes, ma'am. Thank you for letting us know.
okay, yeah, they complain about everything. They're complaining about the pay, we're gonna have the parking lot paved on Thursday, and they're not happy campers. Because they
Well,
have to,
thank you. Well,
they have
thank
to
you
move their cars.
for helping them. Thank you.
But anyway, thank you.
Okay, so I guess we can now go to commissioner comments, number 9. Do I have any commissioner comments on number 9?
I just wanted to say I'm not going to be here on July 28th.
Okay,
If it's necessary for a quorum, I can Zoom in, but I'd love to just be on vacation with my family.
and that's July 28th?
Mhm.
Okay, do you have any comments?
I have none, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Goodwin, do you have any commissioner comments?
No, I just wanted to thank everybody for all their hard work and keeping things going. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just ditto what she just said.
Yes.
And so right now, we are going to, unless we don't have anybody, any other comments or questions. We're closing the meeting at I have 5:34, is that correct? Okay. So the meeting is adjourned. For this.
Alright, I'm gonna call to order the meeting of the Housing Development Corporation Board of Directors at 5:34 PM. Can I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Yuri Anderson,
Here.
Maria Orozco.
Here.
Kathleen Bellis,
Present?
Francine Goodwin,
Present.
and Kevin Hilly is absent.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, now.
All right, any comments from the public? Around the HCD? Nobody in the room? Nobody online? All right, we're gonna close public comment and move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting held on February 24th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I second.
Motion by trustee Director Roscoe, second by Director Ballesteros, 20 meetings. Any comments from the public on the motion? All right, if we can have a roll call, please.
Yuri Anderson,
Yes.
Maria Orozco.
Yes.
Kathleen Bellis,
Yes.
Francine Goodwin,
Yes.
and again, Mr. Hilly is absent.
All right, we're now on to new business, item 5A, which is a resolution approving the addition of the position of the resident service coordinator.
Okay, so the resident services coordinator, it is a position that also can obtain a grant through HUD. We applied last year, but we didn't get it, and mainly because we haven't did that service here before, so we didn't have something to send in to let them know what to compare it to. The resident services coordinator can concentrate on several places: employment, education, healthcare, and just overall the enhancement of the individual's quality of life. This is something that has normally been did through contracts for HDC and for HECM. With those contracts, a lot of them was with Life Steps. And however, after viewing the reports, it may be more beneficial for us to have our own person. And that person could spend 4 hours at each development with a calendar of where they go every week. So that, like how Ms. Francine was saying in the HECM meeting, we have seniors that need to know how to get on Rent Cafe. They can go in there and do that in conjunction with teaching them how to do wellness classes, making a whole curriculum for them of things to do and different stuff to learn to meet whatever objective the person has, whatever area they want to improve on. This position would not cause us any financial issues. It actually would save us $80,000 a year based on the amount that we currently pay out for contracts. And that would be this would be a HDC employee. And so that person would be fully under our authority, and we could really have input into what's happening at the properties. A lot of our properties, the clients, they ask for how to use Rent Cafe, how to go to school. Some of them only speak Spanish. They need somebody to translate things in English when they have questions with their managers. It's just a lot of services that we can provide and connect them with. And this will really give us hands-on in doing that, and it will create a savings. So I think it'll be something beneficial for us to do as an agency. And when the next grant come out, if it stay a grant under this current administration, we'd already have a position or two that we could reference as far as the pay, the curriculum, the outcomes. So that'll give us a better chance of actually being awarded. Now, we do have a FSS program under the Housing Authority, but it's only for persons in Section 8. So the rest of our portfolio, all of the people in property management, all of the people that's under HDC, those units we were talking about, they don't get any services unless we contract it out. So this would be an opportunity to bring all of those services to them. And if at any time we feel like that it's not working, or we need to change it, or we need to add something, we would have the authority to do that, to make it more comprehensive. So I think it's something that we should do. I think it's a great supportive service, and it'll get us started on that track, because we want to do more supportive services. And again, it will actually save money based on the contracts that we currently have.
Any questions from the directors? Director Goodwin, any questions?
They would be based. Their office would be based at Hackham, right?
The office will be based at HDC over on
Or
Front
HBC, okay,
now, but they will have a schedule. So you can know what time they would be at each of the properties, and then have an approved curriculum, so you will know, what's gonna happen. It can be on the calendar, and actually try to do more outreach and get more engagement.
thank you.
So you mentioned that it would save us money based on, compared to the contract, so are we phasing out that contract, or how would that work?
If this position get approved, we will phase out the contracts.
Okay.
And under the contracts that we have now, we haven't been getting the level of service that we wanted for the residents. And that was something that started to generate this idea of just bringing it in-house.
And the action that we're being asked to do creates the position within our organization, and then at some point, yeah, the idea currently is to hire one person, but it could in the future be like the position is there and
It
if
could
there's
be
additional
two
need.
or something. And that's why it was on both agendas, so that the housing authority would add it to its organizational chart, because it's not there, and the HDC would also add it. So this one is strictly for HDC, but we would like to add it, I would like to add it to that organization.
Sense.
All right, any questions from the public on this item? All right, close public comment. I entertain a motion to approve resolution MDC 245.
I make a motion to approve. Second.
Okay, motion from Director Ballesteros, second from Director Orozco. Could I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Yuri Anderson,
Yes.
Maria Orozco.
Yes.
Kathleen Bellastars.
Yes,
Francine Goodwin,
Yes,
and Kevin Hildy is not here. That concludes the roll call vote.
Great. We're now on to item 6, information, and we have the development report.
Mr. Gregory, if you don't mind. Report. And we noted that you left because you lost the dressing contest between you and James, but we thought you were gonna redeem yourself.
I couldn't take the defeat. I couldn't. It was too much.
Dean also brought a whole bunch of little sweets and all of this to give you, so we'll have to send them through virtual, but we'll eat them for you.
Well, at least tell me how good they are.
They're really good. I think they were like super fresh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she spent a lot of money on that, so I appreciate you feeding for that. And, my last little joke, I like that you got a plant in there with you, because really before it was like nothing. I didn't know if that was your office, you were in the elevator talking to me, I wasn't sure, so.
Forgive me, a little bit at a time. So for the development department, the biggest thing to note is that we have closed the King City transaction. So we are now the owners of the King City Days Inn. We will be putting out RFPs. We're releasing those, I believe, this week to start the construction work. The timetable for that is really going to be dependent on the contractors, when they can start and the level at which they're going to dive into the work. We're expecting it to be somewhere between 6 to 12 months. That's a pretty wide range of what it could be, but it really does depend on kind of the reports that we get back from the contractors and how long it'll take them to mobilize and dive into the work. But that is a kind of a big step. I think the second thing that is kind of inching towards the finish line is the Fairview transaction, which is another home key project that we stepped in and are helping to close. And so that project is scheduled to close within the next week. We've already received some of the money. We starting to put some things in the escrow. We'll be transferring that. We're just waiting on one last little transaction to happen, and we'll be able to close that property. The difference between the two properties, the King City property, we're acting as general contractor. We have to actually go through the process of doing the construction work. When it comes to the Fairview property, that property, the owners, the sellers already did that work. So we're really just stepping in and really getting it leased up and ready to go. So that'll be something that you'll start hearing more about the lease up on the Fairview property as far as, when that's going to be happening in the next couple of months. The only other major thing, we are working on some refinancing of some existing debt. That process should close up at the end of July. So that's kind of the last major thing. We are going to step back a little bit from the credit facility process that we had talked about previously. I believe Ms. Boykin and Nora will be working together to kind of figure out if that's something that we move forward with, or if we just go in a different direction. We are also still working with S&P to gain the credit rating, at which time, we could potentially use that to help facilitate some of our development activity. Were there any questions on the development report?
I got one question. How much did we spend on King City and what was the project total?
So is the question, how much did the housing authority spend, or how much did the community?
Yeah, so you can tell them how much we spent for the acquisition as opposed to how much it cost.
All right, so the acquisition, I believe, was $3 million, and then the total construction is about $12 million. So it's a $15 million project. The housing authority will spend $0 of our own money on this project. So the funds came from other sources. The city's putting in money, the county's putting in money, the state's putting in money. Those dollars are coming together to formalize this project and make it happen. We are acting as a general contractor and developer. So there is no cost to the housing authority at all. When this is done, though, we will own the project and operate it. So it is kind of a 100% addition. It's all, not to call it profit, but it is sort of pure profit. We are not contributing really anything other than our own efforts. Even operationally, there are dollars coming in from the county for King City for operations as well. They're coming from the county, but they are for operations. So yeah, we're really, really obtaining a property that is a high value property that's going to really transform part of this community, and it really came at no cost to the housing authority. Fairview is the same. That property, it's an $8 million sale. Same thing, the money is coming from the city of Salinas, the county, and the state. The housing authority is effectively obtaining this property, which will be, is in pristine condition, and we don't have to pay a dime for it. So I think, this process, to be fair, did launch before I became part of the housing authority. So I have to credit, the existing team for that. So, just as the board knows, you've already got a great team that already got us into this project, and I think we'll do a wonderful job continuing the project on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions from the development report?
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, for all that you did while you were here this short time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I truly, truly, truly appreciate the opportunity. I can't thank the team enough. I can't thank Ms. Boykin enough. I can't thank each of you enough for welcoming me and making me feel part of the team and giving me the opportunity to be involved the way I was. The team is unbelievable. You all, I don't think, fully understand what good hands you're in. It's going to be an amazing future for the development department. So I'm really excited to just keep an eye on you guys and see what kind of great things are coming out of the department. I'm super excited to see what Nora and everybody comes up with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the agenda. All right, so, if we can take it out of order, if there are any director's comments, then we'll be able to just adjourn out of the closed session. Are any director's comments?
No.
Just thank you for the information provided today. Thank you to Keith. We're gonna miss him.
Any comments, Director Goodman, on the HCD, HD?
No, thank you.
All right, so see no comments, the board is going to recess into closed session and we will adjourn from closed session.
And so staff, if you want to leave, you can leave, except for Gabby, I need you to stay.
Thank you, everybody. So I should ask everyone.